All right, what is up, YouTube? I'm back once again making a brand new interesting video. So we had a sell off. The market kept selling off. I see it. I was using those incremental values, and that was typically giving me a barometer of where the market was going. Certain handles that we had to pay attention to, such as this is looking at it from I would say a losing perspective. So if the market were to break 100 points, our next step will be to go probably to 150. If we see 150, if we break 150, we go lower to 200, and that's what I kept seeing. And I was wondering if the market will break 400 points, or being down 400 points, and that was just about confirmed at the end of the day. We see the market, dip down 300 points. This did open up a door, for 350. Now, when 350 was broken, this typically let me know that the market is going lower. But on that, on the market going lower, this definitely gave me opportunities to go ahead and scoop up shares in my personal account for Home Depot. I got in Home Depot, Facebook, Square. Well, Square really didn't have any weakness to it. It barely had weakness, which is a really good sign. So what I bought: Honeywell, Facebook, TNA. I kept my Starbucks position, did not sell, and like I said, Home Depot and XIV. Now I'm betting on the market strength. I'm betting that the market will rally later on in the year. I am buying, positions for now, so that way I can build up to them long term. So I would like to at least have 10 shares of each company, going forward into the year. So, right now I'm just definitely buying, I would say, seed shares for right now. And my account is definitely bouncing back up, almost up 1% today. And as we see, the market is definitely, bouncing back, rallying back, pretty nice. And this is simply what we need to, get in position for. We need to be able to buy other stocks when they do take dips. So when we see, Twilio, it really didn't react on the, the market sell. The market sold off almost 400 points. Twilio barely moved 50 cents. So it lets us know that Twilio is pretty much non-effective because the selling is pretty much done on Twilio, and people are just waiting to see, what the case is for Uber, and people are just seeing if Uber is definitely going to drop them completely, or just keep, with a steady amount, or probably just lower their clientele size with them. So we see UWT, like I said, we see losses are definitely coming back here. I would say, the losses are decreasing. We see, we bought it at $18. We see oil just about 48, 49 right there a barrel. And typically, like I said, I do see oil going back to $60. We see that Brazil is actually selling off. We see that, there's impeachment talks. I'm not sure if it's impeachment talks or if if the president actually getting arrested here. But we see that, it's down 15%. We see that market is getting hit really hard. We see it down almost, I would say their version of Dow Jones was down just about 10%. So we did see the market, have just about a vertical line down once that news broke out about, what the president is doing, about this bribery. And you see, everything. You see circuit breaker halted. Market was halted on a 10% drop, so it lets us know all bets are off. They're looking for another president, and they're, and the market just has to consolidate and, I would say go up, or, look for stocks that the next person in line likes, or looks for sectors that the next person in line likes, and those are typically which will be the benefactor of a rally, once that person gets in office. So it's typically how you always see U.S. elections happen. The market was positioned for Hillary to win, but we see Trump. We see Trump come back with an underdog win, and we see the market sell off overnight, and the market rebounded, and the market, it was just about up for the day. So just about overnight, nothing really happened. But what we did see is that certain stocks, had a huge sell off, which opened up, really good buying opportunities. So if you see Brazil, I know emerging markets definitely came down off of that $41 level and breached below $40, which seemed about 39. After 39, and bounced right back up. So we do see downward momentum here just for a little bit, but now the stock is popping back up back to $40, and it definitely gives us a plus sign for whenever you want to throw some money in the market. So the positions I am looking at right now, we see Expedia is definitely coming off those lows, but I really don't understand how to get a good position in on Expedia. We see it keeps inching back up to this overbought level, but we do see downward momentum happening for Expedia. So Expedia is definitely a company that I really want to own long term. But like I said, I really don't feel comfortable buying stocks next to their all-time highs. This is exactly why I gave Home Depot some, I would say, some room on on their all-time highs here. I bought shares about 56. Robinhood was, it was really horrible for me to go ahead and fill prices on the sell-off. I was able to get filled in Facebook about 147.20, and I put in my order when the stock was about one or low 146s, and I'm not sure why my market order did not work. But yeah, Robinhood is definitely not, I would say, reliable at all times. There's still some kinks that need to be worked out. But like I said, this is a fee. I mean, this is a price you pay for working with brokers that do not charge commissions. That's just a trade-off. Okay, so we see, like I said, Honeywell, I feel pretty bullish about that company. As long as I'm able to get in a position on certain companies, I feel pretty good about it. TNA is another position I did get in on. We see this is a small cap bull, three times the return on the small cap sector. And typically, I really don't want to, buy in a position where, we see some weakness here. We're not pretty much oversold, but we see that, we're diverging into that downward momentum line to let us know that sellers are probably still in charge here. I'm filled at about $50 here. We see the stock is definitely ticking lower, but long term, I do see that this stock is on the I would say support level of this trend that it keeps rising. It rises and falls, rises and falls. It's kind of consolidating here. Nothing really breaking out to the upside. We just breached our daily moving average yesterday. And on that sell-off, this definitely gave some weakness to the stock. I'm pretty sure if we look at it, in any perspective, I'm pretty sure that, like I said, we're oversold at any point. If we look at short term, like I said, we're pretty much oversold. But I look at it on 1 year level, and this pretty much gives me a good gauge of whether I should hold it for a couple of months or probably should just dump it in a month. And I'm pretty much able to tell, just by looking at the chart. So, we have Square here. Like I said, we had huge buys on Square. I didn't buy it just because I seen people, buying up huge calls of Square. But we do see that, we see people buying more shares of Square. We see upgrades. We see, big block trades coming out of Square. This is definitely, pretty active stock here, and people are really feeling pretty bullish about this company. Like I said, the second quarter the next quarter should be probably a disappointing results, but we do see downward momentum is definitely coming out of the stock. And when this stock does rebound, we should see $21 or maybe $22. But we do see downward momentum bringing this stock back below $20 or back below that daily moving average. We did pierce through that daily moving average yesterday, but we do see exactly what's going on here. Downward momentum to the downside, like I said, and when this thing does rebound, we will see a heavy rally back in prices. And we can check out the XIV. I'm filled at prices of 68 flat. I was able to get in at 68 and then right below 68. So I would say 67, 90s, 67, 90-ish. But we do see that, the market is definitely rallying back. And we do see that, we're breaking back to the upside. So just like, we seen yesterday, the market or the XIV dipped just about almost over $11. And now we see this thing is back, rallying back $3 up just about 5%. So this is definitely a signal for me to go ahead and buy. And if we do some technical analysis here, we can pretty much plot a bottom here because we do see that the stock has found a bottom right here. But what we must do, we must go back into past prices to figure out where support is. We see a gap right here, and we pretty much can tell that's exactly where the bottom is, right up in here, right in this level. And we see that, this large bar was not able to break out to the upside. This is why you see the candle stem, poking out the bottom. The prices were able to stop right just about right here, showing a resistance level in price. And we did see the stock try it again, but failed twice. And after that, we broke out to the upside, and that's typically where we see the rally at. But we do see exactly what happened here, why the stock broke out to the upside, because it met support that was set about a month ago. So just about a month ago, right here at this 67.33 level. But we did see prices go below prices did go below this pre-market. We see prices hit 65 and bounce right back up. Now prices at $65. Let's know that The stock is right here. That lets us know that the stock is rebounding pretty huge, and market strength is probably returning back to the market. But I'm really not too sure on when we should see some bullish sentiment come back in the market. But I know some of these, overselling is done on some of these names. We see XLK. We see this is definitely a time for you, for you to go ahead and buy shares in the technology sector. I know, a lot of those names have been overbought. We have Facebook definitely coming off. This is definitely, a signal for me to buy. We have Amazon definitely probably, just a little bit coming off of that overbought level. We see Apple had a, pretty nice sell-off. We see it coming off of that overbought level. And, we see Cisco probably contributing to the downside that we do see in the XLK. We see it, Cisco is definitely oversold by a lot, and not really sure if we should, like I said, look, check this out, week outlook in Q3. This is typically another sign for downside in the technology sector. If we want to be specific, Cisco will probably see downside probably for the next 2 to 3 days, and this is typically where you see people will actually start back buying the stock, but this probably goes back to $30. We did see $30 after hour, or I thought, okay, we see $30 hit exactly at $30 right here at just about market open, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go back to retrace those levels. I know you see, the bullish sentiment come back in the market. People are buying up stock, but what we always see on weak guidance is that the stock will always come right back down and trace that support and break through that support. So we might see the stock hit back to $30. This is a stock that I really wanted at 30, and now I'm able to purchase shares at 30, but I'm no longer interested in purchasing shares because we have such a downward quarter, and people are looking at this stock as a sell rather than a buy now, because people were hoping that this thing will break out. We see it try to break out on just about 4 separate occasions, right here, right there, and then we have it again right there, and then we have it right here. So this lets us know that people are done playing around and, no longer holding this name. We did see the same thing with Twilio. Like I said, it tries to break out 3 times, 3 separate occasions, right here, and right here, and negative outlook for the quarter. Definitely a big dump in the stock. And this is typically a name that I really want to get in for the long term. So I'm looking, 1 year out, but I really want to see exactly what's going on with this Uber situation. I know Uber is cutting back some of their, their orders on Twilio services, but I really want to see, what the effect is going to have on the next quarter results. So when we did have that sell-off, guys, I hope you were able to buy some positions, because the market is kind of, trying to rebound here today, and I'm not sure how long that will last. But, anytime you do see a growth name selling off for a good cause, so this is not like a sell-off for, a weak guidance or a weak quarter. You typically stay away from those names. But if it's just moving with the market and going down with the market, we want to pay attention to that, especially if it gets to that oversold level. We definitely want to jump into that name because it's a growth name. And if you think about it, do the fundamentals, nothing is really affecting the stock. It's only moving with the market. And typically, when you do have, things like that to happen, that's typically, a buy signal for me, because, nothing's really going on with the company, or maybe somebody knows some insider information that we don't know, or that hasn't been published yet. So I typically, wait and see. So I'll probably, probably buy some shares here. And if I see the market rally and the stock goes back to rallying, this is typically when I buy more. But if I see that the stock is, selling off when the market sells off, and when the market rallies, the stock is still selling off, this lets us know the selling pressure is still on for the stock, and people are still seeing something that's going, that's making them sell. Now let's check out Twilio, because I did purchase this in the simulated trading account, but I was able to get out on a gain in the 24s. We see that, we did see the stock try to, retrace that $25 level, got rejected. But what we're seeing right here is the daily moving average getting closer and closer to these prices. We see that, when we get to 25, that was kind of a warning sign for people to go ahead and get out. And we do see the stock is kind of leveling off below 25 once again. We see the daily moving average is inching closer. And if we get the daily moving average inching closer, and the stock prices is kind of, playing that same magnet approach where, the daily moving average is closer and the stock, kind of, furthers away from the daily moving average, this lets us know the sellers are still in charge of the stock. And if the daily moving average were to break below this or break below this resistance line, the stock still falls. This lets us know that the stock is definitely, still going to the downside. There's no buyers in here, but I'm pretty sure that this thing is going to sideways trade for a while until we can actually get some bullish sentiment in the market, or people, just definitely, get tired of, waiting. People are going to start buying. We did see CEO buy shares at 23. I'm hoping for this thing to dip back down to $22 in my opinion, honestly, because I really want to snag up some shares here because this selling is overdone. We tried the $35 level. That means that the stock is probably worth about 30 to maybe $27 a share. That, when we try these levels 3 times already, to go back down to $22 is, just a little bit too harsh, to see a 30% decline. But people were really tired of waiting on the stock to break out, and the selling is just about overdone. We see it, come back from the upside from selling pressure on the oversold levels of 22.8, and I'm hoping that you guys are able to purchase positions. A lot of these names are still looking good. These things are rebounding right back. We see that the market is definitely rebounding right back. A lot of these names that we're selling off are bouncing back, and that is very, very amazing. That lets us know that the bullish sentiment is still in the market, but at some point we will see a huge sell-off like we see, right here, that caused us to go down. What we saw was the election. There has to be an event. Usually these events happen in August to September. This is historical. These events happen in August to September. So we did see a market sell-off of just about 400 points, but that really wasn't a sell-off to me, in my opinion, because we see the stocks are still rallying back. So to see us, see an actual sell-off where we hear, market breaker or halt trading, we have to see that thing go below 400 points. We have to see 450. We have to see 500 for us to get a huge correction. And then when we get that correction, stocks are going to rebound. That will be a very profitable day and a very, good dip buying day for people who want to increase their positions. But historically, like I said, it happens later on in the year. But like I said, we want to pay attention to growth names when they sell off. So take care, guys.